listening to the Deep Purple Podcast, a fan podcast about one of the most legendary bands of all time, Deep Purple. We take a look at the music, history, and people behind the band Deep Purple and beyond. Welcome to the Deep Purple Podcast, the first and only podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Today's episode is episode number 298, the Deep Purple Podcast New Year's Special. And coming to you from the dusty, musty suburbs of Chicago, I'm your host, Nathan Beaudry.
And coming to you from the suburbs of Providence, I'm your co-host, John the Pentagon Matola.
Oh, Washington, D.C.? Oh, no, wait, Virginia?
There you go. Oh,
I was like, that's not a state.
You biffed it. Yeah. No,
I was like, I don't know.
DC
Is he doing weird municipal? I don't know what do you call a district? I guess it's a district.
Yeah, well, yeah, the DC, District of Columbia.
It's just, I remember as a kid being a very shocked because they have like a super sarcastic license plate. It's like their license plate says taxation without representation. I'm like, wow, they're just going for it right on their license plate. They're all pissed. I mean, they should be pissed, but it's just funny that they put something like kind of sarcastic and passive aggressive right on the license plate. They're like, yeah, we're not a state, freaking assholes.
Well, with that, yes, the world's largest office building, the Pentagon, is in Arlington. With that, we have 4 more state facts, which I started a little late this year. So unfortunately, it's going to have to carry over into next year. Only 4 episodes, but it's like I would have liked a clean break. And I was thinking let me make this the last one, but I'm OCD and I have to do the last 4. So, but that gives me like about probably a month, less than a month to think about what am I going to do next? Where do I go from here?
Well, more than a month because we're about to take our month break. So,
and if my ratings and reviews for albums are any indication, I'll figure out 2 minutes before the episode.
Yeah. As you're hitting record, you'll be Googling something.
Yeah, I'm gonna do facts about famous actors. For a year.
Facts about famous actors.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually,
we'll and it gives me a month to look up what the last state in alphabetical order is so I can at least get one right.
Don't do it. Don't cheat.
Episode 303, that'll be the last one.
All right.
The top. I mean, I think I can narrow it down. I mean, but the thing is, by the time we record again in a month, I will have forgotten where we ended up. I think it's weird. I mean, I guess it's true, but I think it's weird calling the Pentagon an office building. It's just an office building. Just,
I mean, technically, but I mean, nobody thinks of it that way.
It's more of a citadel than an office building.
Like an office building. It's just like, margin accounting,
Yes. Margin accounting.
She's a real card.
I have a few friends that worked at the Pentagon. I should like Jen went to school in Washington and knew a lot of people that went to work for the government for defense and such. So I kind of know some folks that worked there. I'll have to ask them about margin accounting. But yeah, I'm hoping this is our last recording of the year. Although the next episode, even though we recorded it before this, will come out. We're starting the new year fresh with episode 300. We do need to kind of talk about what we're going to do for that at some point. But we have opened to this up since we're going to do kind of a live stream here. We're going to get into it very shortly. We just sent out an invite to the patrons. We posted on Patreon and we posted in the Discord, and literally within 2 minutes, people started joining us. So thank you to the patrons who've joined us in the past 10 minutes since we probably posted about it, and anyone who wants to pop on afterwards. We're just kind of treating this like our year-end office party at the Deep Purple Podcast headquarters. We do something a little different every year for Christmas and for New Year's, and this year we'll announce that in a minute. But first, a little bit of housekeeping, and of course, that is telling you that the Deep Purple Podcast is listener supported and completely ad free, completely listener supported. We're not supported by big microphone or big shaving supply or big ball cream or whatever all these different places that advertise. You know that
The
place.
hell kind of abs are you getting?
There's the one that advertises. It's like what's it called? But it's like stuff like ball wipes and like, which seems weird
I
to me
mean,
to just
I mean,
carry some. You can take out this little snuff box, like, excuse me, doodly doodly, and you just give yourself a little wipe, like.
I mean, I've heard of them, but I've never had the ads come up whenever listening to
Oh,
podcasts. It's usually friggin' Chumba Casino.
Manscaped, that's what it is,
Yeah, I
Manscaped.
mean,
So they have like
yeah.
it says experience the top men's grooming brand for your butt, balls, and body, even the gooch. What?
The three B's.
No, the gooch.
No, you have the
The-
butt, balls, and body. The three
oh,
B's.
and the 1G. What is the gooch? Oh, okay. I never called it the gooch.
The gooch. Oh.
I've heard it. Does anyone call it the gooch? I searched gooch and it's bringing up these like state representatives, Jim Gooch, Steve
Jim
Gooch,
Gooch.
these poor bastards.
Oh,
I always
I
just
was
called it either the taint or the chode.
the gooch. I don't know if I've ever heard.
I've never heard gooch.
I was like speaking of like lesser used phrases. Somebody there was a woman at work yesterday who was just like, yeah, I don't know, I have to get in something about her, like a box. She's like, oh, my box, and I started laughing because I
Oh no.
well, I haven't heard somebody refer to a woman's
Was she
private area
actually
as
talking about it in that
no, she
respect?
was talking about like a box that she had to get something out
Oh,
of, and
okay,
I
okay.
just thought like she said my box, and I was like, I haven't heard somebody say that as like a filthy reference as a while, and I don't know for some reason it just popped into my head, and I'm like, ha, and they're like, what do you laugh about? Nothing, nothing,
Nothing. I'll tell you later.
nothing. I'll tell you. Maybe I won't. I'll tell you later in the HR office. Oh.
I liked Dave used to, Man in the Box by Alice in Chains. Dave used to sing it. I'm the man in the boat, which is funny because he's using a different term. He could have just kept it box.
That's true.
I don't know. Very strange. Um,
The gooch.
a man in a boat is definitely
What wasn't the gooch like the name of like a bully on an 80s sitcom?
probably. There's lots. It's brings up an article from dudewipes.com called "Let's Talk About the Gooch."
Wait a minute, I have to look
I've
this
never
up.
heard this before. I don't know if our UK listeners have, but
Hang on, I know that this is yes, the gooch on Different Strokes. The school bully, the gooch, haunted Arnold.
the Gooch. No wonder he's a bully. Nobody wants to be called the
Yes.
Gooch.
Because somebody said, "Hey, the gooch." He's like, "Hey, you take that back."
So I'm gonna have to change this to our show is 99% listener supported because I think we just unintentionally did an ad for Gooch wipes. Well, we're not getting paid, so I guess it was an actual from the heart testimony. Never used a Gooch wipe. Never. That's not something that I don't know.
I'm sure I'm sure they're very they're very useful.
I didn't know you needed a special wipe for that. I think you just clean it with whatever. But now I'm gonna have to look into this. That's something for the new year for 2025 resolution. Take care of the Gooch. But there are ways you can support our show so that we don't start talking about Gooch wipes every episode. And one is by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Let new people discover the show. Make sure you write something. Tickety, tickety, tick. I can't do that because last night my son decided, after telling him not to, that he'd bring a big thing of hot cocoa upstairs and spill it all over my computer keyboard. So it doesn't work anymore.
Oh.
I can write a review if it doesn't include certain letters. Or maybe I can dictate it. So I'm not super happy about that. Okay. You can buy some merch at our Etsy store, including these wonderful new hats. It's getting cold. We've got an Arctic blast coming in here tomorrow to lows in the single digits, I think. But we've got our silver and purple and our purple and purple toques, hoodies, beanies, whatever you call them. They're nice and warm and toasty for the holidays. You know what? I'm going to since it's pretty cold here this morning, I'm gonna wear this one. This one's gonna cost extra because I've worn it, and hopefully I
Oh,
could still hear.
oh, a podcast worn.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could sell that one as like a little extra. Like Nate wore this on the New Year's
it's like a
show.
game worn jersey. Exactly. I'm gonna
Yeah,
sign it
exactly.
on the embroidery.
Exactly. Yeah, you send me a few, and over the winter I'll wear them, and you can get John or Nate game worn toques for
Uh,
$3 extra.
Actually, it should be less.
$3 discount,
They're like,
discount.
this is just used, guys. We know what that is. But thank you once again to everybody who's joined us on a very short notice. We just thought we would just put it out there that we were recording, and people joined in. So thank you so much. There was a game time decision. You can become a patron on Patreon or on PayPal for as little as $1 a month. When you do support us financially, you do get access to our rating spreadsheet. You get access to our patrons only Discord that John was talking about, I think, before we started recording. And you also get access to join us on these live streams, such as right now, and enter your rankings on our rankings episodes. You can give us one-time donations on PayPal, Cash App, $DPPOD, or Ko-fi, and also super thanks on YouTube. Be the first person to give us a super thanks. We've gotten Ko-fi, we've gotten Cash App, we've never gotten a super thanks, unless I don't know how to look that up, which is quite possible. All right. Well, speaking of people that support the show, at our executive level, at the in memoriam tier, the wonderful late Gerald, Jerry, Kelly, and family, thank you for your support over the years and from the support of the family. We really appreciate it. At the $25 Uncommon Man tier, we have Ovis Nakvi. At the 15 Squid tier, we have Alan. At the 10-pound Good Doctor tier, Dr. Mike Catan. At the turn it up to $11 tier, Clay Wambacher, Frank Thielgard Mortensen, Mickelstein, Will Porter, PhD BP, and Michael, don't call him Bradford like I once did, Bagford. And at the $10 Someone Came tier, Ryan M., Jeff Bryce, Victor Campos, Better Call Saul Evans. And Peter from Illinois. And at the Hughes Oween by 2033 tier, the one, the only, the hilarious Fielding Fowler. Blue. Thank you so much to all of you for your support of the Deep Purple podcast. And if you want to do our next rankings episode, you do have some time as of the airing of this. You got about, I guess, 2 weeks. January 15th, get your rankings in for Fireball, link in Patreon and the Discord. Or if you don't have it, just shoot. Somebody asked for a link just the other day, and one of our great patrons responded before I could with the link. So thank you very much for that. All right, so here we are. We figured what we would do is play. And you know what? Let's just start it up right now. There's no rules. Nobody can hold us down from what we want to do. Let me just make sure all my stuff is in order here. But I'm gonna start it up. So you hear the telltale signs of David Coverdale.
So why don't you tell everybody what is this?
Why don't you tell everybody what we're listening to? We're listening to Deep Purple.
Really?
Mark III. Sunbury Festival. And the reason we're listening to it is because it's basically about the 50-year anniversary. This is the first show that we have any recording of from 1975 as we enter 2025, the 50-year anniversary. Take a listen to them. This is just the intro section before we get started, where they're kind of a lot of fiddling around so far. Anyone who knows about this knows that this was a very messy, sort of like what you call Woodstock level music experience, where they were playing outside. This is a lot of people called it Mudbury because it was extremely muddy. People sliding around in the mud.
Ugh.
It sounds like David Coverdale, like they're having technical difficulties and he's trying to kind of. Oh, Scott's mentioning that you get my my DNA with the hat, so I'll have to make sure I'll have to take it to a crime lab and have it cleaned so you can't submit me to 23andMe or whatever. I already know what Rich is thinking because DNA was mentioned, but I think Scott's referring to my hair. Here's some angry Australians in the crowd.
Play Speed King!
Go, oh, somebody said go Richie or something. I wonder if there's a way I can kind of show this. Maybe there is, because there's some videos here.
Really?
It's just like videos of the event to kind of give you a visual of what they were going through. So I could probably pull those up on the screen with the video down. AC/DC also played this concert. Would have been a good show to see. Reggie! Well, I think they could have. I probably should have played the this video while we were going through this. I didn't know intro meant really nothing was going on. But don't worry, we're almost through the intro and we're going to get into the first song. I'll pull up this video in a second. See if I can share it, just the YouTube video, and let's see here. This might.
Do you own your own home in?
Whoa.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just gonna give you an ad. Yeah, I'll save this video for another slow time. I'm seeing vocal improv, and I think they do a very extended "You Fool No One" at one point, so we could probably play some of the video clips then.
There we go.
There we go. Drums are a little low.
A little low. I can't hear them at all. I mean, I don't know if this is just me, but it basically sounds like they're playing the show without Pacey.
And perhaps anybody else. He's coming up a little now, so I don't know if my ears are just adjusting to it. Yeah, it's definitely on the Richie side of the stage. There's some really good pick slides from Richie. I mean, how loud would a guitar amp have to be to completely drown out the drums? Oh, heard a nice
I heard. And that's the only thing that I've heard so far from Pace.
We can skip around on the songs if we have to, too. Yeah, Scott said they might be mixing the band on the first song. Yeah, especially if it's a music festival. By all accounts, this festival was a disaster, so that could be it.
Now, what was
Not
it called
as
again?
well organized as Cal Jam.
What was this called again?
Sunbury.
What? Oh, I thought it was like Mudfest.
Mudbury. Whoa. So this is just a bootleg. So here's the, the bootleg is called Gypsy in Melbourne, 1975.
I mean, yeah, geez, you got to be a pretty big fan to want to own this and actually listen to it.
Yeah. We'll see if the mix gets better. Welcome to the Gardeau joining us.
Hey, it's the Gardeau.
So let's see if this works. Let's see if you can see this video here. This is a video of some clips from the Sunbury Festival. I'll put a link to this in the show notes, but there's a an official video on the Deep Purple official channel, as well as like some interviews and things like that. Oh wait, this isn't the one I wanted to play.
It's lagging anyway.
Oh, probably, yeah. Oh, guys.
Somebody's beating the shit out of somebody.
Oh, God, he almost tried to, like, curb stomp him. Holy crap. Oh, somebody brought a baby. Don't bring a baby to this. And they're sliding down the muddy hill. Oh, my God.
Oh, boy. Yeah, they were going to need some gooch wipes after that.
That was a gooch wipe.
Oof.
It's not a positive one.
Yikes.
That looks like that would be painful. Like you'd catch like a tree root or something.
Oh yeah, geez.
What's that old Dane Cook bit where he talks about slip and slide? Is he more like slip and bleed from the anus?
Yeah.
All right, I've got a different video here that I can share of some of the antics.
Yeah, the crowd antics are actually pretty entertaining.
Just put them on a loop here. Got too many windows open here. I'm trying to figure out where this is.
There's a very Richie heavy mix on this, which is not a bad thing.
No. I could just rename it Richie Isolated Live Tracks.
Yeah, right?
Let me go to the next one here. Let's see. Here we go. While we go into the next song, I will share this video, which is a little bit longer. Shows a couple of new song.
New at the time.
Oh, and it's worth noting that. So he's dropping a lot of F-bombs. He got arrested after the show for profanity.
Oh.
We're gonna do a song now.
Oh.
When we start doing this song, if it starts to rain, forgive us. It's a tune called Stormbringer.
Yeah, they said Stormbringer, and then somebody went, oh.
Oh, it gets it. Yeah, so if the mix doesn't improve, we can skip around and do whatever is necessary because it's pretty.
Yeah. Well, actually, I can detect the presence of some drums now, so.
The hint of drums. So there's some actual live shots right there of them playing.
Nice.
I think they were under a roof of some sort, but the poor fans were not. And I don't know if it's a tall tale, but it seems like when they said Stormbringer, it actually did start raining.
Ah.
I don't know if it had been. It seemed pretty muddy, so I can't imagine that all happened after being completely dry, but who knows? They're finding all the Australian hotties in the crowd to interview. But that looks just like, I mean, it's just a big pile of dirt they're playing in. I mean, of course it was going to turn to mud. There's not a blade of grass to be found. Oh, Richie's going crazy there. I gotta get the chat window back open because I can't see it. Let's see here. Welcome, Blackmore Tights. So it's like the Australian version of Woodstock, where instead of peace and love, you might get your head caved in by somebody's boot.
Eesh, yeah. Or you might get your gooch ripped up by the by sliding down the hill.
Bless any of the late joiners on this live stream who don't know what we're talking about.
Yes, Richie has been doing some good solos.
It's all been solos.
Well, I think that's, yeah, I mean, it's like very Richie heavy bootleg. You can hear a lot of what he's improvising, but yeah, he sounded really good. Doing a lot of that like galloping and trem picking.
Yep.
There we
At
go.
first I thought, wow, there's some more shots of people sliding through the mud. It's January, so luckily it was probably pretty warm on the south end of the earth.
I mean, I would not. I mean, imagine like sliding down there like on your stomach or your knees or something. I mean, you rip those up, that's painful enough.
My God, they were rolling a guy in a wheelchair down that muddy hill. God.
Well, God bless you. Back in the 70s when there was no regard for personal safety.
But then again, if I was 18, I probably would have done it. Oh, it's just a big mudslide. What could happen? Nice close up of Lordy there on the organ with the clavinet sitting on top of it. Yeah, so a couple of interesting. We'll let them announce this. There's a lot of really little kids there.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that guy had his dong out.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. This is on YouTube. I'm playing this off of YouTube. It must be quick enough that...
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, how how offensive could 50-year-old dong be?
It couldn't
And
be
I mean,
offensive at all if he was using the gooch wipes.
I mean, and I mean dong from 50 years ago, not a 50-year-old's dong.
A lot of tuning going on in this show so far. He is swearing an inordinate amount in this. We'll get to that in a second.
It's funny that there's like nudity, little kids, people beating everybody up, and he gets fined for friggin' swearing.
Well, it's funny because they show the guy, he's curly haired. He kind of looks like Doctor Who, and he's like and then he's basically Winnie the Poohing it or Donald Ducking it. Like he's wearing like a long sleeve shirt and like a shirt underneath it, and then they pan back, but he's not wearing any pants. Oh yeah, here they are playing Gypsy.
Nice.
Not a super common live song from them.
Why am I looking at Patrick Stewart?
Oh, sorry, it went to an ad. I forgot that we were watching. Patrick Stewart shilling for something. Yes, I don't know how long they would have continued doing Gypsy.
I love that.
Oh, it's great.
It's very like underrated or deep cut melody guitar riff by Richie.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Gypsy. How many times did they play this live? "12 times. And let's see, was this the they played it they played it twice in 74. The live debut would have been Long Beach Arena in California on November 20th and December 11th in Milwaukee. So this would have been like one of the first live times. Oh, actually, yeah, one of the first live times. Oh, they played it. It's not they don't have Gypsy on Made in Europe, do they? No,
I don't offhand. I don't remember it being on.
No, I think they played it live during that like show, but I don't think it was. I think they played it live during those shows, I should say, but I don't think they played it. I don't think it's on Made in. Yeah, because there's only like 5 songs, right? They have that super super long "You Fool No One."
Yeah.
So this would have been something to see live. Yeah, but to get to where we are with, let's see here. I have information about it.
Yep. Always love this about Richie's playing at this time, which I probably mentioned before, is like his fast picking.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, because even though it's not like a super complicated thing to do, like, I mean, playing like him, obviously you can't just, it's not easy, but I remember liking that because I kind of like threw it in my guitar tool bag because it's something that like you could do. I mean, you just go on one string and be like, yeah. But I mean, it's like, that's all I could really do. But I mean, it sounded impressive. So
that's one of the Richie-isms that I could do. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing is like with an accessible kind of trick like that, rather than the, say something like when he would go bam,
Yeah,
he'd do like the arpeggio. That's something you could throw in there if you're not a super technical guitar player and kind of sound cool.
I'm trying to look up about David Coverdale getting arrested, and I found somebody getting arrested in America named David Coverdale.
There's another David Coverdale.
Apparently. So a couple of noteworthy things. One is AC/DC played this, and they apparently got into a brawl. This is from, although this one is on the eagle.net, but I know there's one on like Louder Sound or something. It says, the organizers knew they faced financial ruin before the fourth and final edition of the weekend festival took place. The combined pressures of poor weather and low ticket sales, caused in part by steep price hike, meant that even though it was a popular event, it wasn't going to take place the following year. All was not well with Deep Purple either. Deep Purple had been paid $60,000, a significant amount to appear at Sunbury, and the fact that the cash had been secured for them meant that many other bands would leave the festival without getting paid. So this is kind of like, maybe this is like the Fire Festival of the day. AC/DC, on the other hand, were just getting started. They had recently hired Phil Rudd and would soon bring in bassist Mark Evans to complete the lineup that would begin their climb to success. They were working their way across the pub rock scene of Australia when fate got them involved with what was happening at Sunbury. The way he said it sounded like he said Lady Apple Dealer. It's called Lady Apple Dealer. That sounds like an early Pink Floyd song. Lady Apple Dealer, she likes to deal the apples.
Sounds like an unreleased Bad News song.
Yeah, it takes your brain a second to figure out the rhythm of the song with the drum solo, but... So Angus Young says, we were playing in this pub on Saturday, and this manager got a hold of us and said, listen, can you guys whiz out to this Sunbury place? The guy promoting it was a bit worried. He said, Deep Purple doesn't look like they're going to go on stage. He was a bit worried that no one was going to show, and he didn't want the kids to riot, so he thought we'll get AC/DC and maybe they can keep them at bay. Older brother George Young, the band's producer, had been filling in on bass, even though he owned just the instrument and not even a case for it.
Jeez.
Just wandering around, just a loose bass. George was part of the troupe that piled into the vehicle for the festival trip. When they arrived, Angus said he took one look at the festival site, all these people, all the mud, and abandoned them. They had to walk a mile and a half to get to the event. Just when they got there, all these cars and these Rolls Royces come pulling up. This was Deep Purple, and they decided that they were going to go on. Nevertheless, AC/DC were still set to play and had been advertised as part of the bill. Everything was cool as far as we knew, Young said. Then at the last minute, something happened. Somebody said somebody threw a punch at our manager, one of Deep Purple's tour guys. We were all bunched up in this caravan changing. I remember we all came running out. Our local lads were able to rely on assistance from fellow Australians. A forklifter driver dropped some equipment on some of Deep Purple's security staff, while singer Bon Scott merrily joined the violence. Bon had someone in a headlock, and the guy was spinning him in the air, and Bon was shouting, "Don't worry, guys, I've got him!" And Bon spinning away, Angus remembers. As all chaos broke out, the guitarist climbed on the stage. I got on the microphone, and I said to the kids at the front, because they'd started coming over the fence, I said, "Hey, we need a bit of a hand up here." Somehow the organizers managed to enforce some calm. We had a bit of a standoff, the promoter said. Deep Purple will go on, then you can go on after. We thought, all right. Pretty ballsy to just get there and just start fighting with the headliners.
Yeah, why not?
Hey, you know, as a show of dominance. Yeah, so this is actually sounds like it's getting worse. The sound.
Or maybe a bunch of mud that people were sliding through got into the console.
It could have been. Or the guy was like, just screw this. I'm just setting the faders and getting out of here. I know Coverdale's commented on this on Twitter before. I'm trying to find one of our old tweets.
So you said Coverdale tweeted about it?
I think he replied to one of our tweets about it.
Does he still tweet?
I don't know. I haven't been on Twitter in a really long time.
Yeah, me neither.
And here I am trying to get on it, and it's like, doesn't work. It says, don't miss what's happening on Twitter, and then it says something went wrong. It didn't work. Twitter's a disaster.
Well, yeah, I mean...
3 years ago, if we didn't put down until the Burn album, song about being misused, being abused. It's a blues song. It's at the Burn album. The song's called Mistreated.
A blues song off the Burn album called Mistreated.
To the ladies.
I think they don't even let you look at Twitter now if you're not logged in, which is yet another really dumb decision to make Twitter's value go down. Well, this is a perfect thing to have a good focus on Richie for. This show's going pretty fast. Like, there's only a few songs left, but one of them, again, is a very long.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't expect this one to be too long since there were multiple bands on the bill.
Well, you never know. Richie do what Richie want to do. Oh no, maybe it was, maybe it was the New Zealand show where he was arrested. Maybe I'm wrong, and I've conflated Australia and New Zealand, which is a crime.
Either way, he was dropping a lot of F-bombs.
He was dropping a lot of F-bombs here. This is how good Twitter is. Like, I search for David Coverdale arrested, and like the third thing that comes up, Sean Diddy Combs arrested in Manhattan.
Yeah, because Coverdale and Diddy are...
I mean, I get them confused all the time.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen them both in the same place?
I have not.
Exactly. Where is the... Hey, could I just send out a note to the makers of Zoom? Could you guys just calm down? Could you just stop every time they update the software like 5 times a week and they move things around? And I get that things have to change and, it's not always gonna be the same, but you could literally, we could have an episode. We're not gonna record for a month, And when we sign on in January to start recording again, it's going to be like learning a new program. Every button's going to be a different spot, every control. They're going to change settings. It's ridiculous. Trying to do the simplest thing here. Here we go. Michael Bagford said too many gooch wipe references got him arrested.
Well, really, that
Here's
should
a
get
gooch
anybody.
wipe for ya.
That should get anybody arrested.
The wonderful Saul Evans joining us.
Better call him.
I didn't even have to call him. Well, I guess we sort of did. We put out the call to our patrons that we're going to be doing this as our little end of the year office party.
Yeah, look out. Bill over there in accounting is Xerox in his butt.
He's got a lampshade on his head. That was always when I was a kid. Well, when we were kids, that was the stereotypical thing you did if you were too drunk at a party. You had a lampshade on your head, which doesn't seem that zany.
Yeah, but think about it now. If I went to your house and I got drunk and I just ripped the top off of one of your lamps and started wearing it as a hat, that would be pretty. You'd be like, what the hell is this guy doing? So I guess still pretty zany if you think about it.
It just reminds me of that meme. You know that meme? It's like the girl in the grocery store and she's got the bag of potato chips on her head.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Her friend like posts the pictures like, oh, she's so crazy. I just love her. And she just has a bag of potato chips. She's like, and she's going like this. And it's like, just like, oh, wow, she's so crazy. She put a bag of potato chips on her head. It's just lame white girl stuff. Just reminds me of that. Like, oh, wow, they put a lampshade on their head. They're just, yeah, but I guess it would be because you'd either, like you said, have to rip the lampshade off, or you'd have to like go through the trouble of unscrewing that little screw on the top, taking out the light bulb. That would be. But if you're drunk, you're probably...
Sounds like something I would attempt.
Scott Haskin thinks there was a pre-show interview with David and John where David was clearly drunk, talking about Chivas Regal. I wonder if it was this show. Oh. It's not like Glenn just hit a few clams on the base. Not exactly the audio fidelity of California Jam, but you can tell this is a pretty good... So I will, since we're discussing, I'll have to share this with you. This is the grocery store girl I'm talking about. This is a... She's so crazy. Love her.
I haven't seen that one.
You've never seen... I just love it. It's so lame. It's like, wow, she put the bag of potato chips on her head. She is crazy.
Wow, that's edgy.
Edgy. I don't know. We have to put the explicit tag on for this. Not about the gooch wipes, but...
Yeah, about the potato chip head.
I did have this, and Rich did comment on this because I posted this in one of the groups, which was this t-shirt. I found somebody holding up this t-shirt, and then I found it like on eBay or something, but this is the Sunbury Australia Day weekend, Australia's greatest festival, January 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th on 2 stages. And that's like the kind of like, I think, logo they had for it. It's kind of low fidelity, but it's like a woman like sitting sort of cross-legged. And then on the, oh, where'd it go? On the back of the shirt, it says Deep Purple Humpy Service. So this sparked some conversation.
Okay.
Of what Humpy was. And there's 2 kind of obvious options. And it is the less graphic of the two.
I feel like that t-shirt that Gillen was wearing with the boobs would be a little more intriguing to try and find. And
watch, that's gonna get our Christmas episode banned on YouTube.
Yeah.
Even though I just played a video live off of YouTube that had a man's ding dong out.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like, oh, there's boobs in that episode.
There's boobs on a t-shirt. Oh, okay. But they look so real.
It looks so real underneath Gillen's smile. I love how pleased Gillen is with himself for wearing that t-shirt. It's not just like he put the shirt on and forgot about it. He's like aware of it all day. He's like, yeah, huh? Did you see?
I don't know what would be funnier, that or if he was just completely oblivious to it.
So Colin Hart confirmed that Humpy is the humpers, the guys humping all the equipment, which there's two meanings for it.
Oh, well, that makes it
mean, moving all of the equipment, not humping it in the other sense.
That makes sense.
Deep Purple Humpy Service. I'm gonna start a moving company, and I'm gonna call it the Deep Purple Humpy Service. These are gonna be our shirts. I'm sure they didn't trademark any of this. I'll be fine. They've got those. Do they have the college hunks around you?
Yeah, geez, I'm pretty sure. Like, with I have a college right down the street. I'm sure it's there.
There's tons of college hunks there. There's a moving service around here called College Hunks.
No, yeah, I've seen it. There's like college hunks. There's even the more disturbing high school hunks.
Really? Barely legal hunks who move your stuff.
Just like come in, gentlemen.
But yeah, they will always not always, but they used to go into my parking lot at work and they would put their cards in the windshield wipers. And I'm like, get out of here, you college hunks. I don't know why they thought everyone in that parking lot needed to move.
Well, I knew somebody that had used that service once, actually, and I was just like, so, I mean, were they good looking? And they were like, eh.
I went to college hunks. It's like that scene in Elf where he's in the mailroom and he's like, look at me, I'm 26 years old. He looks like 40.
Yeah, exactly.
There's going to be some gaunt looking guy with with smoking a cigarette. Looking like he's at least, 42.
Yeah.
Hey, it's never too late to go back and get your education, right? Take a few more puffs before I start moving your stuff. Speaking of college hunks, there's the movers are back for day number 2 here, moving all of our stuff back into the house, which is very exciting.
Oh, very good.
Someplace to sit other than one of the 5 folding chairs we have.
Haha.
They are not college hunks, though. Oh, now they're going into a more stereotypical blues jam. Down, 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 down.
Yeah. See, this is the type of T-shirt I'm gonna put in the chat right now that I would like to get, and just wear around.
It's so disturbing.
But I mean, you see a woman with that, you're like, holy shit. You see a guy with that on, you'd be like, holy shit.
You have the same reaction, but sort of different.
For different reasons, yes.
Yes, it's a girl that looks like she's ripped her shirt so you can see part of her boobs. And she's proudly pointing at it, too. She's like, huh? Yeah, that would be very alarming. Sometimes you walk by somebody that's got a super, super close flesh tone shirt or pants on and you're like, whoa, and it just looks like they're not wearing pants or something.
I saw somebody like that the other day.
Yeah, your brain instantly is just like, whoa, that person's not wearing any pants. What's going on? Might have to cut our New Year's festivities short and fade out on this Mistreated, because this is actually the first half of the album. The second one is like kind of the long jams, Smoke on the Water, Space Truck, and You Fool No One. But we did receive word that the college hunks upstairs need some directions. I might have to go up and...
Baby, baby, baby.
But I think that's a good stopping point. It gives you an idea of what they were looking like at the very beginning parts of their Stormbringer tour. And
yeah, I mean, sounding good. I mean, the recording is not great, but I mean, band is sounding good.
And it's gonna be, it's gonna be a little bit shorter episode. And my
he needs it this time.
Complete turmoil for the past 6 months. So I'm hoping when we regroup in January, I'll have a functioning house with a sink in the kitchen and all that, like super crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the remodel and the craziness from the holidays, work, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, 2025 will see us coming back more focused than ever.
Exactly. I'm trying to get this to stop. There we go. Okay. I said it all
just keeps
really nice to
dragging and going and going.
But we're going to thank our foundation level patrons as we come out of that. At the £3.50 Deep Purple New York tier, we have none other than Lord Longford. Wait, no, sorry. I was like, wait a second. At the $6.99 new nice price here, we have Spike the Rock Cat and Sugar Tea. At the episode $6.66 here, we have Steve Coldwell. Arthur Smith.
Getting support from the patron Arthur Smith.
Anton Glaving.
Pain in the glaving.
And Charles Meadows. At the $6.65 almost evil tier, we have Kenny Wymore, Richie Sucksmith. At the $5.99 the nice price tier, Robert Smith and Carl Hellberg. At the 60 kroner Scandinavian Nights tier, we have DJ Newt Martin Johansson. At the $5 moneylender tier, John Convery, German Heindel, Adrian Hernandez, Jesper Alman, Alexei the Perfect Stranger Slepikoff, Kev Roberts, Percival Frequency, Scott Zerns, Cynthia Doobie, Raf Calf.
My Czechoslovakian is not so good.
Coyote Bongwater. John Maselli.
Looking for something?
Yeah, a man.
Okay.
Sarah Sanders.
No, Kelly Clarkson!
Jelly Bean, Evan Robinson, and Richard Fusey. Thank you so much to all of you for your support of the Deep Purple podcast. That was from an episode where he's looking for this guy in the bathroom. And it's just kind of the standard like 80s thing where the bathroom attendant thinks he's gay and he's like, okay. He keeps looking for this guy in the bathroom, and then he tells us some like. I don't want to spoil the future clips I have, but you're going to hear some more from the bathroom attendant. Okay. Well, I think we'll probably break up. Why don't you and I convene later to just do like a quick little ditty to tack on the end of this, because I do have some stats and things that we can review.
All right.
And then, we'll break out. I know John's got a doctor's appointment. I've got an appointment with some college hunks, and
oh boy, Nate. Maybe is there something you want to tell Jen?
Okay.
Hi ho, hi ho.
Exactly.
As Nate's going upstairs gleefully.
Yeah, the bathroom attendant's gonna be like, okay, looking for college hunks. So the surprise episode. I guess we'll wrap up. Thank you for all the patrons joining us on, like I said, extremely short notice. Thanks to Blackmore Tights, Scott Haskin, Michael Bagford. Who am I leaving out? Stephen Somerville, Stuart McCord, Peter Gardot popped on there for a little bit.
Gardot popped on for like a second, didn't he? I didn't even see him.
He probably like just saw the link and clicked on it accidentally. He was like, "Oops," while he was at work. He's like, "Oh
Yeah.
no, gotta get back to work."
Yeah, and
Um,
Steven, he was like, he was in and out. I didn't even, he was there, and then I didn't even notice he left.
yeah.
It's like, wham bam. Ooh.
All right. Did I leave anybody out? Oh, Will Porter. Will Porter was on there. Yeah, as I finally figure out how to get back to the participant list. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll check up with you in a little bit, and John and I will reconvene in a few minutes. All right. So, if you are interested in checking out that bootleg, some links in the show notes of some places you can find it. Yeah, so just switching things up a little bit this time. I do have one more segment before we wrap up. And that is, of course, Postcards from the Edge of Connecticut. And wow, this one, let's see. I don't know if you can see that.
Now it looks like another motel.
It's in the motel series.
Yeah.
Jensen's Motel, half a block off US 89, Richfield, Utah. Near excellent hunting and fishing, close to beautiful Fish Lake and Utah's famous Bryce, Zion, and Grand Canyon national parks. And it's a AAA approved hotel or motel. Actually looks really nice. Of course, it's a painting.
Yeah.
Look nothing like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Beautiful flowers and shrubs all around it.
yeah, not bad.
It says, Jensen's Motel, 12 new fireproof and soundproof, elegantly furnished, roomy units with wall-to-wall carpets, thermostatically controlled air conditioning, hot water, heat tub, and tiled shower baths. Thermostatically is capitalized too. Like that's a word.
I guess it is.
Now, Nate, nothing better than a fireproof and soundproof elegant hideaway for you two darlings, Pete. Yeah, the soundproof makes it seem like this place is good for killing. Doing some murdering.
Get some murdering done at Jensen's Motel.
Your secret stays with us. Wink. But yeah, fireproof is always good, though. I do like my motel's fireproof. Then I've got another one, and this is a Les Paul style guitar, but not a Les Paul. So
okay.
The heck is that? Can't say see what it says. But the title of this one is Guitar Solo. Get it? Guitar Solo. Hey, Nate, now here's a guitar solo for you in Austin, Texas for Thanksgiving. Trying to get the Gardot to come here to see the Beagles cover band Fake It to the Limit, the Roback. Yeah, I can't quite make out. I want to say Dan Electric, but it's no brand I'm familiar with. So thanks, guys. Thanks for the postcard greetings. We always appreciate that. And yeah, before we wrap up, I did have a couple of things. One is I had a bunch of information about kind of where we are with stats for the year that we could kind of cover. Do have, here we are, the New Year's special. So here we go. We could even turn this into a game, but we're not going to. So what do you think the most listened platform is for our show of all the podcast platforms?
Apple Music.
See, when we first started, it was for a really long time, but Spotify has really moved to the fort. 41% of our listens are coming from Spotify.
I was going to guess Spotify, but I wasn't sure.
It used to be something like 60% was Apple Podcast. Now, Apple Podcast is 26%, then Amazon Music, 7%, Overcast, 5%. That's our 6%. That's what I use. Web browser. Who's listening to this on a web browser? Make yourself known.
All right. Yeah, I mean, they're the ones that don't want to really commit too fully.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll just pull this up on my web browser. Podbean, Pocket Cast, and then 0.0. So less than 1% are other.
Other.
Yeah, other.
What are they like? Probably my neighbor, like listening through the ceiling or something.
Yeah,
That's
or
other.
they download it and put it on their iPad Shuffle and listen to it at the gym. Like, remember when you used to have to do that? You used to have to
Ugh.
like download your podcast. Like I used to have to sync up my iPod every night to make sure the
Hmm.
latest episodes are on there so I could listen to them on my way to work. It's like it's so much easier now.
Ugh. Everything is.
That's why everybody's got a podcast. The next is by device. What do you think is the number one device that people listen to our podcasts on?
Device.
Yeah.
iPhone.
Oh, 46% iPhone, 37% Android,
Ah.
5% Windows, and then 1% others. People are listening to this. They listen to us on Linux. They've got a little Linux rig set up in their basement.
On their desktop computer.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So
All right.
so that's the devices. Then the next one is plays by episode as of the recording of this. Oh, and also, speaking of Spotify, as we record this, the Spotify, what do they call it? The year-end wrap or whatever.
Yeah, I actually just looked at mine before we came on.
Usually people start tagging us and posting us in their screenshots. The only one I've seen so far, we usually get like at least 10 or 12 people send us screenshots every year, just kind of where they are. And Raf Calf sent us where his number one podcast this year, just above Pot of Thunder. So that's some pretty heavy praise.
Well, see, no, I don't listen to mine. I listen to mine on Apple Podcasts still. Just the
Yeah.
format works better for me because it's the only thing that I listen to on Apple Music. So when I pull it up, just all my podcasts are there.
Yeah.
But this year, Deep Purple dethroned Kiss as my number one listened to band.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it was my number one most played band of the year. I mean, let's face it. I mean, a lot of it probably has to do with like we were listening to the new album quite
Yeah.
a bit. I mean, when that came out, I mean, I was anyways. So I mean, that's got a lot to do with it. In addition to um, yeah, ratings episodes and stuff like that. And I mean, Kiss has no new music, so I mean,
Yeah,
of course,
that's
Deep
true.
Purple's going to jump right to the fore. I mean, Deep Purple was always in there, but now that was it. Top.
So I don't know about for this year isolated, but all time, our number one episode, what do you think it is?
Oh, of all time.
Of
Is
all time.
it still the Tommy Bolin one?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Our first one?
Nope. That is in second place, though.
Oh, all right. Well, then I don't remember. I wouldn't even be able to guess. I've forgotten most of our episodes.
Well, this one will strike a bell. Episode number 8, Deep Purple and Rock.
Oh, okay.
Number 2 is our first episode. Number 3, Machine Head. 4, Burn. 5, Stormbringer. So it's kind of almost based on popularity of the albums. 6, Made in Japan. 7, Come Taste the Band. 8, Rainbow Rising. 9, inexplicably, Deep Purple live in Quebec with Randy California.
Okay.
And then number 10, Who Do We Think We Are? Part 1.
And Ozzy is our number one album.
And
Oh,
it's not fair, but our least listened to episode is our last episode because we just pulled
well,
the data on it. So
yeah.
so that's pretty good. I'm glad it's not like episode number 11 or something. So
Oh,
it's,
geez. Could you
it's not a
yeah, could you-
one-to-one, but it's mostly based on popularity. And like our
Hmm.
crossovers are always huge, like our Black Sabbath crossovers. Number 16 is Born Again. I thought there was a Black Sabbath. Where is it? Heaven and Hell is number 33 out of almost 300 episodes. So those tend to be pretty high up there because you're drawing from two fan bases.
True, yeah.
Plus, we have a guest host, so Rise bringing some of his crew when he's on. The Black Sabbath fans who maybe don't normally listen would listen, and then of course our normal listeners listen. So, but yeah, pretty good, solid top 10. Another stat. Where are we at here for stats? The next stat is countries. What are the top countries that listen? You could probably guess the first two.
Hmm. You'd think that I would, but I'm like, I
Are
don't
you
know.
second
Maybe I'm
guessing yourself?
overthinking it. I don't know. Well, I mean, United States.
Yep. Number one with almost 38%.
Yeah. Number two. I don't know. Norway.
I wish.
No, I don't. Who's number? UK.
UK, yes.
Yeah.
Almost 20%. Sweden at number three.
Ah, Sweden. Yeah, I knew they'd be up there.
And it's gotta be all Jonathan Hedlund. I think he must just listen to episodes multiple times.
Ah,
Um, Australia coming in at 4 with 5%. And um, in number 5 slot, our friends to the north, Canada.
oh,
Uh, and Canada is just edging out Norway. So big appreciation to our Norwegian fans. And then, of course, Germany, Denmark, Finland, Spain, and the Netherlands.
Italy in there anywhere?
Italy's right after that.
Ah,
Must be your brother listening.
yeah.
Probably not. Our least played country of people of countries that have actually played it, Cambodia, with 0.00003%.
Wow, I wouldn't even know that anybody in Cambodia listened to this.
There's also a country here called Reunion. That's not a real country. What is that? It's a country? Oh, it's part of France, I guess.
Reunion,
Oh,
France?
Saint Pierre. I think that's that it's in the Indian. We're always getting banned by them. I didn't know where. I thought it was somewhere in like in Canada, but apparently it's in the Indian Ocean. It's a French
Oh.
territory. I don't know why it counts as separate, but wow, based on how much we're getting banned by that place, it's still beat out Cambodia.
Hmm.
Yeah, so and it's probably a mistake. Of course, a lot of the places in the bottom list don't speak English, so you think they probably start listening and they're like maybe they think they're listening to Deep Purple if they even know Deep Purple. Oh, and I can get a flight to Reunion from Chicago. It only takes 1 day and 5 hours, starting at $3,228.
Oh, hop on that plane right now, Nate.
I'm going to be going to Réunion. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Réunion. Oh, it's like off the coast of Madagascar.
Oh.
Okay, so we're providing a learning experience for everybody here. And then what else do we got? We got what is this? Total plays. I don't even know what this means. It says some numbers in it. So we'll skip that. We'll skip that statistic. And
All
then
right.
yeah, so some pretty interesting stats. I like that Spotify breaks down that sort of stuff for you. I think they have a couple of stats actually that are specific to Spotify. What is it? Oh, yes, this is I can share this because it's actually a graphic. This is what's specific just to Spotify gets this data. And this is gender, 86.5% male.
Of course.
And that doesn't mean the remainder is female because we've got 8% female and then 4.7% unspecified. So they probably just forgot to put in that they were male. So yeah,
And then
under 10% female, I'll take it.
like how non-binary is in there.
Non-binary is 0%. Come on, non-binary. We got to reach out to the non-binary community.
Oh well.
Get more.
Well, now look at that. Now this is the age group
Yep.
down there. All right.
Yep.
Well, yeah, 45 to 59. That's obvious. Uh,
Well, no, well, I guess yeah. That's our age group, and our age group is number one at 41.4%.
look at this though. Like under 17, like beats out like basically 18 to 27.
Yeah, see, you're seeing a lull from 18 to 27, and then all of a sudden the youngsters are coming back to Deep Purple.
Yeah, that's.
And then our
neat.
second most popular age group is 60 plus at 24.7%.
Sure, yeah.
Which, honestly, well, I guess it's kind of maybe not as many of those folks embrace podcasts. So that's why we get the slightly younger group, even though that 60 plus is probably more in the Deep Purple original fan demographic.
Yeah, but I mean, you get like, well, I guess if you put like under 17 to 27 together, that's like about the same as 28 to 34. So you group all that together.
Yeah, it's also
It's
like
about
18 to 22 and then 23 to 27 is those are really tight
yeah.
age ranges, whereas our range is 45 to 59. It's like 14 years. And then anybody over 60,
And
basically.
then
If
you
you're
got
still alive at that point, you're in that group.
you're just like, yeah, 60 to corpse. All right, there you go.
I doubt there's many 95-year-old people listening. At a certain point, when you start to get to people in their 80s now, they're probably too old to have, gotten into Deep Purple.
Yeah,
It's really
the
60
Deep
to, we'll say
Purple
60 to 80.
podcast is on.
Deep
Be
Purple.
quiet.
Why did they make it a podcast about those young whippersnappers? If they come with a Lawrence Welk podcast, I'm all for it.
Well, this is interesting.
Yeah. It's one of those things I don't really look at these stats very often. Like when we did our first few episodes, I'd be looking at it. Wow, we got 20 listeners last week, and this is the, the range and all that. But I never look at it now because it's just like, who cares? But
Well, I mean, at the
kind of
beginning,
interesting
you
to
want
look at.
we're trying to build up an audience, or this is a new thing to us. So we're probably you're probably in that whole thing of where are we standing? How quickly are we growing? Like, who's listening? Is anybody listening?
Right? Is there anybody out there? Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then looking at those every so often is shed some really interesting light on things. And yeah, we're gonna have to start appealing to the under 17 group.
Well, I mean, you know what? I bet you. Hey, yeah, by doing that, hey, kids. Well, I mean, I think it's all that Gen Z lingo that we've been throwing in. That's
Oh,
probably
it
why we
must.
even have any
The
percentage
algorithm
at
is
all.
picking up. It's like, ooh, I think they said Gia.
I think they said Rizzler. They said the Rizzler is going to be next week's guest. Oh,
The Rizzler, next week's guest star. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then all of our social media feeds are I think we talked about this recently, but they're all, still really growing except for Twitter. It
yeah.
just keeps every week we lose 15, 20 people a week. And I think it's because people are just deleting their Twitter because we've gone 5.5 years without, basically never either breaking even or having a small increase. We're still about, I don't know, 5,000. We're well over 5,000 followers on Twitter. But yeah, it's beyond stagnant at this point. It's just going away as people are deleting. And then every time I don't really go on Blue Sky that much, but when I log on, it's like, oh my God, we've got all these new listeners. When we started out, I'd say a few months ago, we maybe had 70 followers, and now I think we're over 500 followers on Blue Sky. So that's really taking off, and it's just such a much better platform to be on. There's no ads, there's no blue check marks and people paying to get their comments to the top. And it's none of that garbage that you see on Twitter. It's just actual, interactions with people, no algorithm. You just see the people you follow. So it's not suggesting you all this baloney that you're not interested in. So it's cool. If you're looking for a social media platform to kind of be part of, that's one I would certainly highly recommend. So. Okay, so yeah, I think we should thank our foundation level foundation level patrons before we wrap up for the year. And coming in at the £3 and 50 pence tier, we have the wonderful Deep Purple New York tier, Lord Longford. At the £3 aromatic feed tier, we have Simon Ford and Richard Brees. At the $3.33 halfway to evil tier, Stephen Sharp and Duncan Leask.
Smoke on the water, fire in the sky.
At the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier, we have Peter Gordeau, Ian DeRosier, Mark Roback, Stuart McCord, Ivan Fjellbu. Runar Simonsen. Ruinous Inadequacies, Corey Morissette. Ashley. Weston Supermare Pilgrim. Joe Dopefish Sigler. At the $1.71 I want my own tier, we have
Rich, Youngsley, Shayla. Who the hell is that?
at the 10 kroner tier, we have Karsten Lau.
Cold, hard Danish kroner.
At the $1 made up name tier, we have the Baby Goo Year Leaky Mausoleum, Steven Somerville, the Concerto 1999 Fanatic, Hank the Tank, Private Eyes, Ashton Lionel,
Blackmore tights.
Steve Down to Earth Kohler, Zwapper the Electric Alchemist, Anders Engstrom, ICDC, Durple Purple, Purple Swede,
Swede?
David Haddam, Graham Bonnet's Disco Pants and Haircuts.
Mr. Graham, you know, our audience expects you to be a bit more dirty.
Disco pants and haircuts. Yeah.
I'm just going to put my guitar across his head.
And Eddie Lyon.
Homosexual.
Thank you so much to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. We appreciate it. Another great year, another year in the books, 2024. Can you believe it, John?
Wow. I sounded so unimpressed. Wow.
Wow, can't believe it.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. It was something Steven Somerville said earlier in the chat. I don't know if you caught it. He's like, I think it was around this time 5 years ago, he started listening to us, and he's like,
wow.
doesn't, crazy that it's been that long. And it's like, yeah, because.
And he was pretty young when he started listening to, I think he was, I don't know, I think he was like 18 or 19 when he started listening. So
yeah, so he's part of that like 6% there.
That's, well, he was, yeah, but now he's moved up. He's moved
Yeah,
up
but
to a
it's
smaller percentage.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been already going on this long. But yeah, it's been yeah, I think it's been a great year. We're really settled in to what we're doing, and I think we put out some good content.
Yeah, I think we're putting out some great stuff, and yeah, I'm glad we limped to the finish line here in December, and yeah, we'll regroup in January for some more episodes for you, and yeah, we'll have to. Our next episode is episode 299. If you're doing the math, you can probably figure out what it's going to be based on our episode we recorded a couple weeks ago, and then yeah, we'll have to figure out. We'll probably, we usually change the format like slightly and change the opening and do some fun stuff for the 300. So I think we, the two of us need to keep in touch and talk about what, if there's anything from the format that we want to change, tweak, any of that as we gear up for the new year. And we might be having to change our opening as more to that to follow, but we may no longer be the first and only Deep Purple podcast. So we might have to change that. John looks annoyed.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We're not changing it yet, but in the new year, who knows? We might have to change it right away. Because otherwise we're going to get sued for false advertising. Liars! There's another one. We'll see.
Yeah, well, all I have to say about the potential other one is
he's for those of you on YouTube, he's hissing.
Nah, I'm kidding. Well, wait a minute. Can you? What could it did not pick it up?
Got claws.
Yeah.
Nah,
right. It's all good. I mean, we knew eventually this may happen.
Yeah, and it's good, and it couldn't be coming from a better person.
Yeah, but we won't spoil it. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
And maybe we'll be guest stars on it. Who knows?
Hey.
All right. Well, folks, thank you so much. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to you, John.
Hey.
Yeah.
That noisemaker.
Woo. I want a noisemaker where you squeeze and it does the Glenn Hughes.
Sounded more like the Bee Gees.
But speaking of Glenn Hughes, we might have to have him close us out with a little Old Lang Syne.
Oh boy.
For the new year. Yeah.
It's a New Year's tradition at this point, isn't it?
Exactly. Well, I don't know. We must have done it before. But I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Probably
All right,
as a goof. Yeah.
We'll see you in the new year with a new episode.
See you next year.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Deep Purple Podcast. If you like what you hear and would like more episodes in the future, please donate on Patreon to support the show. You can also leave us a review in Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for show updates. See deeppurplepodcast.com for more details. Thank you for listening.